Okay, welcome to this video, guys. 2.6, we're going to be looking at operations on decimals, multiplication. All right, here's our learning goal, is that students should be able to solve problems involving percentages and all four operations with fractions and decimals. And by the end of this sort of section, you should be able to multiply and divide by powers of 10 and correctly perform the multiplication algorithm on decimal numbers. Okay, same but different is our multiplication algorithm. So these are some of the super important things for us to think about, is that when we had, let's say, 45 times 72, you would set that up like this. You'd have 45 times 72 and you just go about your deal. Okay, now however, when we've got 45, if I had 45 times 7.2, it's very important. We can't just go, oh, okay, 45 times 7.2, let's put some zeros somewhere and sort of go about it. Now, I've seen some students be able to sort of fumble through that, but there's a much easier way of going about it while just using the algorithm sort of as it stands. And so I'll show you that as we go through. So please be careful. The algorithm does stay the same, but there's a different way about starting it off. Okay, so I'll let you know how we go with that. Okay, some of our key ideas. So we can multiply by powers of 10, and this is something you've probably seen quite a bit before, but if I've got 57.69 times 1,000, what happens if we're multiplying by powers of 10, the decimal place, moves right. Decimal place, that's naughty. Decimal point. Our decimal point moves right. The number of zeros. Okay, so the number of zeros we've got here is the number of places that the decimal point moves to the right. Okay, so if I've got 57.69 times 1,000, you'll see that there are, well, 1, 2, 3 zeros here, so that means our decimal point is going to jump 3 spots. Okay, so that's 1, 2, and then an extra 1 again. So our answer is going to be 57690. Okay, so that was our decimal point jumping to here. So 57,690 is our new number. Okay, we can also divide by powers of 10 in a similar fashion. So for here, as similar to above, the decimal point moves to the left how did I say it earlier to make sure? Moves to the left the same number of zeros, okay? By the number of zeros. Okay, so the number of zeros there is the number of places the decimal point moves to the left. Okay, let's have a look at how that's going to kind of work out. So we've got 14.356 divided by 10,000. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros here, and so that means that we are going to be moving the decimal point 4 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that means we're going to have to get ourselves another 2 zeros before we get a decimal point. Okay, so we'll have 0.0014356 is our new number. Okay, so 14.356 divided by 10,000 is this number here. Okay, so that's some pretty easy stuff. You've probably done it before, but you need to be able to quickly multiply and divide by powers of 10. It's a great sort of skill to have to be able to do it quickly and precisely. Okay, right. Decimal multiplication is similar to the regular algorithm. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to sort of show you what stepping out in individual pieces, and I know you only really need to see one example, and then you can apply it to all the different ones that we have. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to remove the decimal points from the question. Okay, so we had 5.23 times 4.5. So we're going to change that to 523 times 45. Okay, so our decimal points have been removed. All right, once you've done that, you set up your algorithm as normal, aligning to the right-hand side. Okay, so that will be 523 times 45. There, that's how we would set up our multiplication algorithm normally. All right, and now we carry out the multiplication algorithm. So I'll just quickly write that again. What about 523 by 45? 523 times 45. So we just carry out as normal. 4 3s are 12, 4 2s are 8, 9, 4 5s are 20. I'm assuming that's probably right. 6 and 9 is 15. There we go. Okay, and so once we've got that, we then return the decimal point to the answer. Okay, so it's very important that the number of decimal places in the question equals number of decimal places in the answer. Super simple, but easy to forget. So the number of decimal places in the question, number of decimal places in the answer. So remember, we ended up with 23,535. Now, let's look at our question again. We had 5.23 times 4.5. There are 1, 2, 3 decimal places in this one. So that means that in our answer, we need to have 1, 2, 3 decimal places in the answer. Okay, so there were 3 in the question, so there's 3 in the answer. Let's check that our answer is reasonable. So we had at the start 5.23 times 4.5. So let's think about this. We've said that that's going to be equal to 23.535. All right, let's think to ourselves, is it reasonable? Well, here's one way to sort of check and have a think about it. We've got a 5 here and a 4 here, and we know that 5 times 4 is equal to 20. So if I've got two numbers that are a little bit bigger than 5 and a little bit bigger than 4, then I should expect my answer to be a kind of a little bit bigger than 20. Okay, what do we get? 23.535. That's a little bit bigger than 20, so our answer is probably correct. We can kind of move on. So some of those sort of things to do to quickly check your answer, to make sure you're at least in the ballpark. It's just a great thing for your confidence in an exam situation, but also just good for speed, to not have to be panicked about whether to go back over stuff all over again. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that video, and some of you already know how to do that, but I encourage you to just make sure that you're doing some of those examples of the must level so that you are able to be confident that you know exactly what's going on. Okay, thank you for watching.